It's really about helping you organize your data, again, institution-wide, in a way that enables a more efficient Workday deployment, as well as more efficient modernization of adjacent workloads. And ideally, once we get there, with a common platform beneath Workday and the rest of your applications, we're able to layer in things like business intelligence and things like AI and agentic AI. So organizing your data typically becomes the next step. And then it's all about realizing the vision, right? It's about executing against that targeted roadmap and ensuring that you're not only maximizing the value of Workday adoption, but you're also pulling through that value or extrapolating that value across your IT landscape to the rest of the organization. The outcome is exactly what I think we're all after, right? How do we create a modern, data-driven institution that's more efficient, secure, and responsive in a way that is really digestible for the institution? And that's really the goal here, right? Is to create an offer with Optima that is at a price point that can be justified, that is at a deployment scale that can be managed. And by the way, also creates an opportunity for additional modernization beyond ERP. That's really what it's all about. Here's what good looks like. A couple of very quick examples. We see Workday Plus show up in a couple of ways. One way is at a project level. So we're working with a technical college right now in the Midwest, new Workday deployment. They came to us and said, this looks great. We love it, but we need help building a stronger business case for the board to approve this. The question was simple, right? Are there other things that you're doing in your IT estate that maybe you could do in a better way? Maybe that we could do more efficiently so that if we could reduce the cost there, we could apply those savings to the Workday deployment costs. And the CTO was very transparent with us and said, absolutely, here are 5 projects that we have upcoming next year. Any one of these would help probably offset the cost of the deployments. We began working through those projects, identified a virtual applications project that actually is going to go into POC this month for them. It's $1 million a year project for this institution. The savings there gave him the confidence to build a business case for Workday deployment. As a result, they're deploying Workday today, HCM, payroll, and finance. They're going to deploy student next year. They've obviously employed ERPA as their deployment partner. And additionally, we're able to extrapolate and extend value beyond Workday into adjacent workloads, right? The end user compute environment. We're also putting together a labs environment on down the line. So Workday Plus shows up sometimes in a project level. We're like, yeah, we want to adopt Workday. And by the way, here's one other big thing that we could maybe do better that would help justify the cost and build a stronger business case. The other way that it shows up is in an entire data center evacuation. And the reality is a lot of times when institutions are adopting Workday or modernizing their ERP, they're evacuating 30 to 40% of their data center footprint. At that point, it does make sense to at least evaluate whether it would be worthwhile to evacuate the rest of the data center. Our offering is, with a cloud foundation assessment, is simply, if we're going to go Workday, which we think is the right choice, we're Workday clients ourselves, we've evacuated 30% of the data center. How about if we model for you what the rest of that would look like in the cloud? That's the cloud foundation assessment. With that, you can then determine if you want to progress down that path over time as it comes. And so those are the 2 ways that Workday Plus really shows up adjacent to Workday deployments.